Studio, mics are up.
Guest, the resignation of the finance minister on the Ugp Dre of Nairametrics. Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Morning, sir.
All right. So, just as a, I use it as a background, back in December 2015, then President of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, removed, I can't pronounce this guy's name, Nala, or they all call him Nene, the finance minister, removed him for some reasons back then. The rand, the South African currency, plunged to, at that point, its lowest point against the dollar. Stock exchange dipped. I'm sure people are going to be asking, do you see a similar reaction here in Nigeria to the resignation of our own finance minister on I think it was Friday or so?
Friday evening,
that she resigned. Feyi, what are your thoughts?
Okay, let me start with the currency. So we run a managed floats here in Nigeria. So if there's pressure on that front, I'm not sure we'll see it because the CBN will always come in to defend the currency at 360 naira to the dollar. So if investors are fleeing, if people are demanding more for the dollars, I think the CBN will intervene at all segments as well as intervene at the investor and exporter window. So I expect the currency to still remain stable at 360 naira to the dollar. But for the stock market, we might see a negative reaction based on, due to the fact that Kemi Adeosun has resigned, and that's because our market is still very much sentiment driven. Rather just stay out and see how things turn out, and it just ties into what we've been seeing in the last few months. Due to the elections, a lot of investors have been selling off their holdings, and we even saw what happened last week. It was really a terrible week for the market, and that's because of the uncertainty surrounding the election. So, just taking a cue from that, due to the fact that our market is also very much sentiment driven, I think we might see a negative reaction.
Okay, thank you for that, Feyi. Ugp Dre, what are your thoughts? You think you'll see any reactions, or how do you see it on the currency and the stock exchange?
In this our market.
In this market. No. You don't see any reaction, yeah?
No.
Yeah?
No.
What are your reasons?
This market doesn't react to things like this.
Okay.
This market doesn't react to inflation. This market doesn't react to a minister resigning.
Right.
This market doesn't react to maybe GDP going
up or down. Yeah.
It doesn't react. That's not how this market reacts. Now, what does our market react to? From experience, our market reacts to things like if there's a bomb in one of the pipelines, you would see the market react. If maybe there's something, a major pronouncement by the CBN, or maybe the CBN governor is removed, the market will react.
Okay.
Right, because that has a direct impact on investing into the economy. So the market typically reacts to anything that they feel would sensitize or will be sensitive to foreign investors, because once foreign investors don't like what they see, then there's every likelihood that they might want to pull out funds, and then the market can react. The market hardly reacts to fundamental things in Nigeria. It doesn't.
Okay.
The market also reacts a lot to exchange rate related issues. So if there's fear that there might be a depreciation in exchange rate, the market will react. The market also reacts to fall in oil prices. So if not just the temporal gyrations, but if there is a massive fall, or it looks as if outlook is that oil prices will keep dipping, then the market will react. So Nigerian stock market is not as sophisticated as what you have abroad, where things like maybe a minister resigning or a minister getting into some kind of scandal would cause a reaction, because typically they react because they feel like the next person who's coming in there might have a policy change in direction, right? Or the next guy coming in might decide that, oh look, maybe there's a new set of regulations, or maybe the guy coming in is a hawkish, or maybe the guy coming in is probably perceived as socialist in his own thinking. Then markets might tend to react. But for Kemi Adeosun, I don't think it's like that. Even if it wasn't good, perhaps maybe if it was NOI, maybe you could have gotten a bit of reaction. But historically, I've been in this market for over a decade now. Markets don't.
You don't see that. All right, we'll see how it goes. Now that doesn't mean, of course, if the market drops, we should attribute it to higher.
No,
right.
Just know what's happening in the emerging markets.
All right, see what's going on. Okay, so let's.
Sorry, Kemi. I don't like. I like her, but man.
Ugp Dre, we appreciate your insights on the show. Okay, Feyi, you already mentioned the nasty week that we had last week on the exchange. As far as stocks dropping, last week the exchange was down by 5.02%. Although Friday the market was up 0.9%, but it wasn't enough to turn around the terrible week we saw, much because of the 3.4 drop that we saw on Wednesday. So I ask this question every time for my guests. Are there still any particular stocks that you guys like out there as far as the exchange is concerned?
There are a couple. There are still so many stocks. I think in general, many stocks are at very good valuations right now because they've been beaten down to very low levels that we've not seen in a long time. In the cement sector, we have CCNN. CCNN was down last week. I think it's down to around 22 naira. That's an attractive level to buy it because we have a positive outlook for the company. They just expanded capacity by about 1.5 million metric tons, and with that, we expect them to drive higher demand and drive sales for their cement business. Also, I think the new plant will run on coal, which is energy efficient. So we expect that to support earnings for the company. So we are positive on CCNN, and we believe it's an attractive level for investors to pick it up at. Dangote Cement. We also like the company. We like Seplat. Oil prices are still very high. We expect that to support earnings for the company. Also, the banking space, we like GT, we like Zenith. So, I mean, there are a couple of companies out there that are very good levels due to the fact that the prices have touched
some new lows. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Ugp Dre, are you still sticking to? A lot of people have enjoyed your view that we should. Some people at least that we should stay away. You still are there any stocks you like, or you still think people should generally stay away from the market?
Yeah, just like you said, there are a lot of value stocks out there currently, at least in terms of fundamentals. If you look at price earnings ratio of a lot of stocks, pretty low, almost similar to where they were this time, or say early last year, just before we had the INE window introduced. So yes, stocks are cheap, but the problem with Rotus really is, how low can it go? That's what people are looking at.
That's
now.
a song, by the way.
Yeah, how low can it go? So
Okay.
people are wondering that, look, okay, stocks are cheap, but can it go lower?
Right.
So is there? Yes, I've seen the value, but at the end of the day, there's one thing: there's value, and then there's price. Right, so if you know that the value is great, but you think you can get at a cheaper price, then you just want to wait out, and it looks as if the market hasn't actually bottomed out yet, right? So you still have some stocks that maybe people perceive that are still high value. So a lot of stocks are still trading at 6-7 times earnings, and this time early last year when stocks were really low, they were trading on an average of 4 times earnings. So people are probably looking at that as okay, maybe it could still go lower. And then you still have a few foreign investor funds in the market. I think last time I checked it was just slightly under 50%. Sorry, it was 70-30, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So people still feel that there's still a lot of stocks out there that people might want to sell down. And also look at what's happening in the fixed income as well. So fixed income bond market, people are actually pushing money into those markets. Yields are higher, so people find fixed income a bit more attractive now. So and it's the same cash basically that's
moving from equities over to fixed income.
So for me, I think just wait it out a little bit more. Like I said earlier, wait till end of September, and then we can see how the last quarter panned out.
Good stuff.
Well, what we typically advise clients is to stagger their entry. So if you want exposure to a particular stock, that doesn't mean that you should just
jump right in
because the market is falling. Just stagger your entry, and with that you can
averaging down.
Yeah, averaging down. You can get a good cost.
Okay, we have come to the end of the show, so we're going to round up with messages. Steven says, laughs a good Dre, you vex. So, madam, what did Madam Kemi do to you? At least pretend, but I like your analysis. Lawson says, on Kemi's resignation, yes, an isolated incident, I wouldn't expect an impact, but there are too many things happening at the same time, so it could have an impact. Bolahan says, listen, Ugo, not sure if Ugo means the market generally doesn't react to such things such as ministers' resignations or departures, but let's not forget that the market did react to SS's sacking in 2014. While Frank says, talking about CCNN on proposed merger, what's the dilution effect?
Frank, we'll answer that tomorrow. because we've run out of time.
Yes, we have. And Rainmaker says a resignation will have a negative reaction, but it will be marginal. Like fruit, like Feyi said. I was like, who's fruit?
Yeah, it's,
we have a controlled float, and the chief controller is still on board, MFLA. Why we will not feel it too much is because our market is already in the negative run. But Rotus, our external reserves are being deployed, and little attention is currently being paid. I hope FX rates will not plunge in December, January. Remember how politicians deal with dollars? That's the currency in the primaries. Stocks? Nah, I do T-bills now.
There you go. Thanks for your messages, people. Thank you so much. Ugp Dre and Feyi, thank you so much. Feyi of Nairametrics. Feyi of Nairametrics. Feyi of ARM.
Wow.
Ugp Dre of Nairametrics. Thank you both for joining us this morning.
All right. Thank you, Lagos. Keep listening. 7:30 detailed newspaper analysis inside of Freshly Pressed.
Thank you.